So let's talk about that, because the catching position in Baltimore, I know a lot of people are looking ahead to that. I'm going to tell people to pump the brakes, but Sam Basallo, your first impressions of seeing one of the top prospects in all baseball?
My first impression was, oh my God, he's huge. He's a giant. He looks like a tight end, but he absolutely looks comfortable at the plate. I watched him take BP a few days ago, and he was hitting balls halfway up the scoreboard in right center, which is far. And it's a big video board. It's like the biggest one in the minor leagues. And I guess if that ball lands, it's 475, 80 feet, something like that. The ball's loud off his bat. He has not had a lot of success so far. He's hitting 177, struck out 20 times in 12 games with 3 walks, which is not good. And he would tell you that. But he's got a couple of bombs. The power's in there. And as the manager here, Buck Britton, said, the first thing when I asked about him, he goes, he's a monster. He's like, when he gets a hold of it, my God, like it's legit pull side power. He also plays a pretty good first base. And I think the long-term goal of the Orioles is to get him up there with Adley and have them split the reps at catcher and have Sam play some first base and some DH. And as Buck said, that way it's not, the entire workload at catcher is not on either one of them. And as you well know, catchers end up at first base. As I wrote, you can read it at pilotonline.com. In the story I did about Sam, Joe Mauer and Carlos Santana are just a couple of guys, prominent guys, who ended up at first. And catching will just kill you. And I've never met a sane catcher. I don't even understand how you do that for a living. But yeah, Sam, as big as he is, he has to do some different things. I was talking to Maverick Hanley, another catcher on the team, about how Sam at 6'4" has to, often catch on one knee. And that could impede his lateral movement, but it doesn't, because he's so long, he can still get the balls.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, for people to get context of Mav, by the way, of Maverick, love Mav. The height difference of Maverick and Sam is pretty drastic. Yeah. It's literally like Kevin and myself. Like there's a big drastic difference here in height. But I want to circle back to this, David. We're talking about Sam. It's loud off his bat and the power. Didn't he just hit an absolute nuke the other night that was like 450 feet or something like that? He did something that was just
he hit one in Jacksonville. Hang on a second. My phone's ringing.
Oh, hey now.
Must be breaking news.
This might be our first call into the Ryan Ripken Show. Thank you, David.
He absolutely destroyed one. And he had just hit a home run distance ball down the right field line that was just foul. And then, as the announcer said in the clip, if you're going to hit a foul one, just hit one to right center. So there's no question. And it was a no doubter. And he's got a lot of those in him. He's the ballpark here is on the Elizabeth River, as you know, and beyond the right field fence is the river. And he's hitting balls that reach that river. And I haven't seen that much in my 11 years here.
And he's what? We just said he's 19 still?
He just turned 20 a month ago.
No longer
he's
a teenager.
20 and 30 days. So he's so old now.
Man, you know what?
Take him off the prospect list. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Sitting in the minors forever.
It's tough. But you are talking about the plan, David, that the Orioles, I think that is the blueprint down the stretch here. And I'm with you that I don't know how long Adley's going to catch consistently for the O's. It's not that I don't think that he's going to be catching the next couple of years, but what is that time of being able to do that? It's taxing on your body. It is extremely challenging. And Sam Basallo, that's a guy I realized with the Orioles, or I never thought he would move anywhere, is because you see him as a long-term piece. And then hopefully that's where guys would transition to, is the first base. But for all the ones that are calling for Adley to get less at bats, by the way, right? Sam Basallo is not coming up to Baltimore this year. And I'm glad you mentioned struggles here, David. I mean, this is natural. And you said, how many games so far has it been for Sam?
Games.
12 games. Okay. So it's a learning curve right now. And so the swing and miss element is something that you've seen. But correct me if I'm wrong, you have seen this with some of the other guys that have come through, some big top prospects.
Of course. I mean, that's the reason you move him up to AAA, especially as young as he is you want to challenge them and see how they handle it. I mean, Jackson Holiday went through that a little bit, not as extremely, but I mean, good Lord, it's 12 games. It's not even a high school season. So give the kid a break. He'll be fine. He knows what he's doing up there. And yeah, like you said, I don't think he's an answer this season. And in fact, Buck Britton, in a rare piece of conversation, volunteered that, yeah, I don't think he's going up this year. I don't think that was ever the plan. But he can get his feet wet down here. And the difference, as you know, Rip, is that in AA, in rookie ball, A ball, high A, AA, you get a 3-1 count and you're looking for the heater. You get a 3-1 count here, the heater's not coming necessarily. They'll bend one, and you got to figure out how to deal with that. And I think that's what he's going through right now.
I think that's a great point, because we're seeing it now more than ever that pitchers are going to throw off-speed pitches in hitters' counts. And you just mentioned 3-1, that's a hitter's count. 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, whatever you want to consider. Hitters want to be aggressive looking for a fastball, but nowadays you're not going to get that. And especially if I'm the pitcher and I know that Sam Basallo can hit a ball 900 feet, I'm not going to just groove one in there until he can prove to me that he can do some other things. Now, if they throw and they walk him, that's a whole different story. But it is good to understand